And if the person loves you, then they will always love you, regardless. What's up, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. You've seen the title of the video and you've also seen the thumbnail. Today, we're going to be reacting to a video that was done by Just Politics. Feel free to check it out. Give her your love, give her your support, and give me the same love and support and energy as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like. And without further ado, let's begin.
Oh, Love is Blind.
Love is blind.
Love is Blind. Put
We
me
got
on.
Love Island.
I always say
Marriage is a joke, and this is one of the reasons, or it's maybe a symptom of the fact that marriage is not being taken seriously. We can now make a reality TV show out of marriage.
But I think the problem is that the standard of marriage has changed so many times. Like marriage initially started off as, here's my daughter, give me a dowry.
Yeah.
and then people were like, let's turn it into
You're
a
talking to a
fairy
Nigerian
tale.
man.
the only difference, like I really think it's just the takeaway of consequence, because we added birth control. That changed marriage forever, because you take away the consequence of like getting pregnant and like dating. So before, like you had to get married younger, otherwise, like
And women started getting rights as well. Like we didn't need to marry a man in order to have a bank account or be able to do any sort of thing with finances as well.
Yeah. But
Most of the time, women ended up in these marriages because we needed something.
Most women, I'm not saying all, I'm just saying when most women enter into a marriage, they come into the relationship with an empty suitcase. And when she leaves, that shit ain't going to be empty.
You know,
Yeah,
Are you a feminist?
why does that matter?
No, I'm just asking because you're speaking like a feminist.
No, I'm speaking about history.
Yeah, but I'm asking
If you don't know basic
would you
history,
categorize
that's-
yourself
what
as
I'm
a
saying.
feminist?
Well, it's just the way you like.
I would say
Yeah, it's the way
I
you like
believe
come
in
across.
equal rights and equal lefts.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me a feminist. It just means that I think
I would
everybody
say
should be
this
equal.
though: the feminists had the legitimate
Equality is a lie.
Feminists have the legitimate complaint, but the wrong solution. Yeah. In terms,
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I would say. What happened?
Yeah.
Feminists
Because
have
because there was a legitimate complaint. Like for example, you couldn't open a bank account without your
Right.
husband's
Right.
approval.
Yeah.
For example, the divorce laws was if there was a divorce in, let's say, this 1700s. This is why I agree with the feminists. Everything went to the man. So obviously there had to be and obviously that caused resentment and what caused a reaction. That's why you had the suffragettes movement and stuff. But obviously now it's gone way
It's
over.
gone way over.
Yeah.
Like the
So
other
in the
side.
same way, I sort of agree, and I just say this to you a few months back, that in some ways I do agree with the alimony rules in principle, in the sense that if a man
No.
let me explain. I can see let me explain.
Okay,
why
go.
it was initially initiated, because if a man did leave a woman, the woman was obviously destitute. So they've put this law in place to think, okay, if the man decides to do the ultimate thing and leave a woman, the woman doesn't become obviously
So
destitute.
then how do we get to the majority of women now are leaving
But now
men?
it's gone. I agree with you. Now it's gone way overboard. Because I think the initial
Right.
rule, there was a good logic behind it.
Because now divorce is a business.
Do you?
You can marry a man. Yeah. The richest women in America are divorcees.
Do you
right?
ever,
It's a business. Divorce is a business.
sometimes I think that like, how do I put this? There should be no laws around it at all. And
Around what?
like
Around marriage?
yeah, like
Because
because
make it a business.
like take the government out of it completely, because like I feel like everyone just has to deal with their own consequences. So like if you pick someone that's gonna leave you the second
So how would
like
you say that take the government out of it? Because the government needs to register who's getting married so they can make good choices in terms of building infrastructure when they're doing census and stuff. So that needs to be, government needs to be involved.
well can't you do it without the legal ramifications? Like there's no
I can agree with
alimony,
that.
no
I can
like
definitely agree with that.
yeah, like because
3
now
year
women can
relationships,
work.
Like I said, right?
But that's the thing, like, at least I can speak for America because I can't speak for other countries. One thing about America, they're gonna make everything a business, and they managed to make
Capitalism on
marriage
steroids.
a business. They managed to make colleges a business. Like I don't know, they're just the kings of that shit. I can't say much about that, but you know, they can see that they can take some money out of that. They're like, oh, your joint household income is so-and-so and you guys are married. This is your marital status. Perfect. We'll take out these taxes. Like, oh, you have how many kids together? This is what we're going to take out of this. Like,
Bring back incentive. If you get married, you get a tax break of $100,000.
Nah, I don't like the 3 year. That's
Well,
too
whatever
easy.
it is, 2
I don't
years.
be like, that ain't working for
1
me.
year. Hang on, you think,
I'm
Pel,
young, so
as
a
much
year
as you
is a
know
lot.
about the manosphere, as much as you know
Yeah.
about the statistics about
Yeah.
divorce and
Right.
you think that
I
this
said
current
get rid
model
of
is
the.
working?
No, I said get rid of the laws. Like, why do we need alimony? Why do we need do we need all?
I
that?
don't
No,
need a
but marriage-
prenup.
okay,
It should have
but
been already
marriage- but
obvious
ma-
that
you're
someone
saying-
with
I think everybody should get it. Everyone that's looking to get married should have a prenup. New marriages, college students that's getting out of college looking to start a family. What do you have? $0, $1 million, you're rich, you're poor, whatever it is. I think you should get a prenup. And in that prenup, you should put your terms and conditions. Because after all, marriage is a business, right? Whether you want to accept it or not. Now, I know a lot of people say, I don't want a prenup because I love the person and money won't be an issue. I got news for you. Money changed minds. And when people see money, they want it. And if the person that you get married to enters your relationship with an empty suitcase and leaves with a full suitcase, what do you think that person is leaving with? Get a prenup. If you're already married, get a postnup. Have some form of contract that outline the terms and conditions of your marriage. Now, you can't have in your prenup or in this contractual agreement anything that's designed by natural law. Like you can't gain weight, or you have to be a certain pound, or you can't things like that. You can't have that because that's going to be thrown out in court, obviously. That's not something that you can really control after a certain point in your life. However, if in your contract that you've drafted up says both persons are expected to make certain amount and is expected to obtain this level of education in order to qualify for X, or that both party make certain amount of money and they cannot expect, just have something in it, because whether you're poor or whether you're rich, having a prenup will work well in your favor when it comes to divorce. Outline how you want things to be divided, because if you don't, trust me, you may not like it, but it will happen. Enter into the marriage with an empty suitcase, they ain't leaving with an empty suitcase. Sometimes they're leaving with 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to ask yourself, where the hell did that came from? And they're going to leave with it. So I think getting a prenup, a contract that outlines with your terms and conditions that you stipulate the marriage, is a good thing. Because after all, marriage is a business. So treat it as a business. And if the person loves you, then they will always love you, regardless of the contract that's in place. They will love you because love is action. Action is concrete. Concrete behavior or genuine, and that's what people remember you by. Behavior makes impact. And I'm sure you want to make an impact and you want to make a positive one. But having a prenup isn't going to hurt you.
I could see prenups because that's something you agree to beforehand.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Okay, so
But that should be standard from the start.
No, you know the statistics, right?
Yeah.
You know marriages are not working. They're breaking down.
Right. Well, you know what I think though? I think marriage didn't necessarily work before. I think we just have more opportunity to leave, because how many grandparents were separated? That was really common. Like people say, "Oh, it was a different generation." Da 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 da. But my grandparents were separated. They were married. They were married for a very long time. But I could say that's so common.
So now, what's the solution then?
I don't know. I'm not God.
No, but I'm saying. So, okay, so maybe this is the man in me then, right?
She said, "Fuck, I look like."
Maybe it's the man in me, right? Because if I see certain things going a certain way, I'm like, okay, cool. How can we fix that?
Yeah.
Okay, like remember talking about the light before, and there's the lights out. We're gonna fix it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the current model clearly isn't working.
Right.
Agree.
Okay, it's not working. We all agree.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so do we need a new model, or are we gonna stick with the old model?
I'm sorry. I'm
that's why men make the friggin' decision. Because women are like, but I love. No. We need to fix some stuff.
Totally.
I was gonna bring it back to what Pearl said. Regardless, a lot of people just stayed in marriage just because it's easier than leaving.
It's convenient,
especially when you bring in religion to it, right? Like Christians, they don't believe in divorce. At least hardcore Christians don't believe in divorce.
They do believe in divorce. Some Christians do believe in divorce.
That's why I said hardcore Christians. When you're going into like Orthodox, same thing with possibly Judaism.
But now the question is that a bad thing? Because every study is going to tell you that it's better for children to have both parents in the home. You put your kid at every statistical disadvantage if you don't have both parents in the home. So is it necessarily a bad thing?
I don't.
If
I think it's better off for the parents to be separated. I could be biased just because I came from a divorced parent household, but it is much better than letting your kids sit there and watch two parents who don't love each other anymore weather the storm just for them, and then the child grows up thinking that they're the burden. Like, it happens very often.
No, love is always sacrificial. It's not about what you'll feel. It's
Yeah,
about
but
what's
if you don't love anymore, then
When did your
love
parents
is an
get
action.
divorced?
Love is not a feeling.
it was
This is the
in about
mistake that we're
2006.
making.
I was about 7 years old.
you're about 7. when
Love
they-
is an
Yeah.
action. Love is not a feeling. What do you think about that?
Love is action, hate is action. When two people get together, if the marriage isn't going great and they decide to get a divorce, that's on them. But the kids comes first, and having a healthy relationship with the kid and with each other is important, because what that does is that it allows the kids to see something that they could be a part of without feeling that burden that it's their fault. But when people get divorced and they have bitter relationship, the kid is going to feel like it's their fault. They're going to take on some of that blame. They're going to feel like their existence caused this problem. Divorcees should not allow kids to feel that way. They're adults. And if parents are going to choose to get divorced, they should sit down and get therapy. There should be a law. There should be a law in place that says everyone that files divorce should have at least minimum 3 months of therapy to understand that it's not about them, it's about the kids, and that they should come together and do what's right to make sure that the kid future and their relationship is still going to be healthy. That's a law that should be put in place. And that should also be a law that put in place that if you're going to get married, you have to get at least 2 weeks worth of counseling at minimum. 2 weeks to get married, 3 months to get a divorce.
If love is an action, if we started seeing it as an action and not so much a feeling, do you think we'd be in this?
Some people cannot weather those storms, though. A lot of people are weak. I hate to say it. Some people do not have the strength to stay in the same household as their partner that they can't even look at anymore for their child.
That's it for me with this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe bell. Make sure you hit the notification. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. And let me know what you think. Should marriage be a contract? Are men getting screwed when they get married? Do men even need to get married anymore? And the biggest question that I want you guys to chime in and answer is, should marriage have an expiration time? And who should set the time? Peace.